All right. Well, here we are. Welcome to a quick little bit. Mike and I are going to try to keep it to maybe 20 or 30 minutes or so. We have a lot of content we want to cover. If you guys don't know, my name is Todd DeCapua. I am from Red Arrow Addiction. I am joined here by my friend Mike. Mike, I don't know if you want to do a quick introduction.
Yeah, I'm from the Northeast Woodsman. Again, a ministry that is geared towards getting kids, really is our focus, back out into the outdoors, whether it's fishing, camping, hunting, all the good stuff.
Awesome. So again, what we wanted to do here today is really kind of rip through, give you some insights into the 2022 Bear Archery lineup, enable you to be best informed about the launch that happened, understand each of these different bows that are out there, what might be best for you in that line, and then be able to go ahead and find your local bear dealer to go out, hold them in your hands, try them out for yourself, and go ahead and get the one that's right for you. The reason this was important to Mike and I, man, 2022, I'll never forget that first video that I saw. I think it might have been on Instagram or on Facebook, but it was this kind of shadow blacky kind of thing that was happening in the video. And it was the ultimate teaser, I know, for both Mike and I. It was crazy. The amount of bows that got launched, there's actually 10 new bow models across all of the compound, traditional, and crossbow lines. But Mike, I don't know if you remember that video as well as I do. It's probably August, September.
Awesome, dude. I mean, they gave you just a little glimpse of the riser, and it was like, getting you all excited. And, I was just hoping for Shadow Black to come into play. And guess what? It came into play, man. They call it throwback black now, but it's still my favorite color.
Absolutely. I know both you and I have owned the Moment in Shadow Black, and that was absolutely not only a wonderful bow, but like you said, a great finish that I know all of us remember, and some of us still hold on to them. And again, I know you're going to talk about it, but you've got that throwback black, which is a fantastic color combination. So anyway, we're going to get started here without further ado. Again, Red Arrow Addiction. This is what my YouTube page looks like. Mike with the Northeast Woodsman, this is what his site looks like. You know what I forgot to do is click on videos. You can see there's just a ton of content that's out here. If you wanted to see some more in-depth details of the shooting experience that Mike had with these Bear Archery bows for 2022, a lot of great information here, and you can go ahead and see that. As we kind of traverse into what was launched in 2022, we had mentioned the 10 total bows across everything. As you can see here highlighted are 7 of the compounds. We are going to jump in and kind of start looking at several of the compounds. As you're seeing this on your screen now, again, highly suggest going out to beararchery.com. There's been a lot of work done on the website, and everything's been consolidated, much easier to get to, and you can see the results for everything. But today we're going to get started with the Refined Echo, or EKO, depending on how you like to pronounce that. This bow is the flagship for 2022. I know Mike has some great experience with it, as do myself. I've had the opportunity just over the last couple months, as these bows have been out, to not only work a Lancaster Archery Supply event for Black Friday, also the time up at the Great American Outdoors Show in Harrisburg. Got to go ahead and work up there for a couple days. And then the Kinsey's Outdoors Show was another one where, again, I was hands-on with the bows, talking to customers, talking to dealers, talking to outfitters about all of these new bows and the capabilities, and got to help people on the lanes, go ahead and shoot them myself, and actually do a little comparison against some of the other bows that are out there in the world today. So anyway, starting off with the Refine. So again, coming back to a 33-inch axle to axle bow for the flagship is absolutely probably one of the most quiet and dead in hand bows, I believe, in its class. It has a 6 3/8-inch brace height, fully adjustable draw length from 26.5 to 30.5 inches. The IBO on this thing is unbelievable at 342. It does tip the scales just over 4 pounds. So again, gives you both that performance and also a lot of comfort, which Mike's going to dive into a little bit here for us. He'll also mention something about the increased vibration reduction system in 2022, taking out an additional 25% of vibration which again, I'm shooting the Redemption from last year. I don't really feel much vibration there. So at the end, to take 25% more out, you'll go ahead and hear about this from this bow. There's a new grip called the Grizz grip, as well as Killer Wave in-limb dampeners, which again, you'll see that in a couple of the different bows that we'll be talking about here today. Lastly, these Echo Cams, you've seen them. I think this year is the 3rd year of the Echo Cam. Gives you a lot of adjustability as far as that, what you want for the let off. So again, giving you ability to adjust that. Again, doesn't change any of your cam timing, anything else, but really, what are you most comfortable with? And I know this is something Mike and I have chatted about a lot. Like, what do you like? 85%, 80%, 75%? But again, it gives you the flexibility. I've also found, if I'm shooting 3D, I might want a little bit less, let off. Maybe I want the 85%, something like that. If I'm shooting for fun in my backyard, maybe I'll experiment with some 90%. It's crazy, right? But if I'm in a hunting scenario and I know I'm going to have to let down, or maybe need to let down a couple times, like this past season, I had one deer, I had to let down on it 3 times before I finally got my shot. Again, a 90% let off, you're pretty much pushing it off the back wall. And, I find that I don't want to injure myself. But again, that's why I've gone kind of more to maybe an 80%, maybe even 85% let off, depending on the scenario. But having that simple and easy flexibility to just loosen up 2 Allens, slide it, boom, you're done. And now you're off to the races. But Mike, how about we jump into this? Talk to me about the refined Echo, your thoughts. I know you had a chance to shoot it a while ago. You might have ordered one, and you might have set one up and been shooting one now for a little bit. What are your thoughts on the refined Echo for 2022?
Well, you're right. It's definitely the top of the class. And it was a hard decision because I put him in a category of my top 3. And this became number 1 in my top 3 because of the shootability. I have never been a long axle guy. I've always liked shorter ATAs, more aggressive, as you know, divergent EKO. Even the Redemption, I was a little questionable about because of, 31-inch ATA. But everybody kept telling me to try a longer bow, and I did, and I took it, and I shot it against the Whitetail Legend Pro, the Alaskan, my Redemption, the whole thing. And when I shot it, I was actually really impressed of how smooth and how forgiving that bow actually was. And I shoot all my bows at 80%. That's my let off. That's my comfort level. That's what I love. I love the new dampeners that were in it. That was one of my favorite things too. They got away from the waves and put in the, in-limb dampeners with the Bear Archery logo on it, which is really a nice touch. Then they moved, in order to get that 25% reduction in dampening and vibration, they actually moved them to different places of where the vibration was actually going to. So now literally that bow is literally dead in hand. Like it's dead, like so dead, it's not even funny. I love the fact that they changed out the string stop. The new string stop they have also, you can see they added a dampening system to that as well. And that provides a lot of shock absorption. And that's where I find really where most of the shock was gone. After shooting it multiple times, that ended up being my number 1. And you're right, that is the one I ordered, which was pretty interesting. And the reason I ordered it is because I love shooting it. And there it is right there, Shadow Black, also known as Throwback Black now, with Fred Bear limbs. And I absolutely love it. I've been shooting it now for about a month, and I was able to dial it in so fast, and it's just, shooting is just fun. It's comfortable. It's not aggressive. It's like the back wall has a minor bit of sponge, but what comes with this is the limb stop. So you can put the limb stop on and have a dead back wall, dead, like boom, done. The next piece about this too is that I didn't, the Versa grip that it came with, you touched on that. I like the Versa grip. It's not my style, but it is many other people's styles. I like side plates. I like having, nothing in my grip. The less for me, the better, less torque. But I was impressed in the ergonomics of it and where it hits on the points of your palm. It helps you not to torque the bow. And the cool thing is that it's like not as, what do you want to call it? Like sheen. as sheen as a lot of the grips that you see nowadays. It's actually not slippery at all. So it's really easy to grip into too. Other than that, I mean, the bow has been fantastic. I don't have anything bad to say about it, probably because it was the easiest bow I've ever set up in my life. Literally, I got my new strings for it from my buddy at Dominant Strands, and I threw them on, and it was literally, because I always go custom. I love custom strings. I just like to custom out my bow. And there's nothing wrong with the strings that were on it. It's just the way I do things. I shot that, and literally I didn't have to do much of anything. I was paper tuned in less than 5 minutes.
Nice.
And when I put it on, my peep never rotated. Like it just, and I shoot it at 80% all the time. So now I have an awesome bow, and it's out of the 3 that became my top one because of the shootability. And I had, like I said, I've never been a fan of a long ATA ever, but it's changed my mind on a lot of things, which, you know, if you're more open-minded in the bow, in the archery world, you know, you learn a lot more things. And so I think they just knocked it out of the park with the refine. And I think the word refine for this bow is exactly what they did. They refined everything that they had to make it. You'll never have a perfect bow, but it's real close, you know?
Now, I had an opportunity to shoot. The first one was at the Great American Outdoor Show. That was a 45 to 60 pound configuration. And again, the draw cycle, the shooting, everything else that you're talking about. I kind of thought, well, maybe it's just because it's the 60 pound maxed out version, which again, typically you'll get about 62 pounds out of those bows. And as Mike and I were chatting, you know, earlier today, it was, well, no, actually, Todd, that is a super smooth bow, period. So I'm looking forward to getting mine. I've ordered mine in the olive color. So again, kind of a classic green, but again, a solid finish, much like we've seen in prior finishes. So again, both of these just phenomenal colors. As you can see, there's a lot of other variety that's already out there for you. Iron's another one that I've seen come around. Last year, I picked up the Redemption in this color, the Real Tree Edge. So thanks to Mike, it was kind of one of those where there's all of these different finishes, and it's like, man, I know I'm going to be hunting a lot. I know I'm going to shoot a lot of 3D. I know I'm going to do a lot of other things with these bows. Which color should I go with and why? And again, you ask your children, you ask your friends, and we came down to a quick call on that one, and absolutely love this bow as well. I guess as we move on, we're going to get into the Resurgence. So this is, as you'll see, in just kind of a bow for everyone, I guess, in the Bear lineup. That's one of the things I absolutely love is, again, if you're having a conversation with someone, they're interested, hey, what kind of bow should I get into? Why? What? This is one of those ready to hunt packages. And again, you know, Mike and I often talk about, look at the value that you're getting. All this out of the box, fully set up and ready to go. As we look through the Resurgence Ready to Hunt, again, this is a new 80% let off hybrid cam system called the DHC, new for 2022. Provides you with a 32-inch axle to axle, 6 1/4 inch brace height. These cams have performance out to 335 feet per second as an IBO rating. And also we talked about the Grizz Grip, the Killer Wave limb dampeners. All of those also come on this Resurgence Ready to Hunt. I know I've had a chance to shoot this. I know, Mike, you did as well. What were your thoughts?
I mean, for a bow that comes ready to hunt and, you know, the new cams that are on it, it shot really smooth. And with the new Ready to Hunt package, you know, it's, I love that they use the Whisker Biscuit V. You know, I think it's a, you know, you can't go wrong with the circle, but I love the V. I have a V, so I've tried it, I've shot it, I like it. It's not bad. The only thing is that you can't, it's not good to use helical fletch on it. You want to use straight fletch because it'll have less contact in your arrow will fly straighter. But they also updated, you know, the trophy ridge sight that's on it to a little bit better, which I find is definitely value in what you're paying for in the bow. You know, and it comes in a bunch of different finishes, but the bow itself shot very smooth. It's definitely a beginner mid-level, you know, in between that right there. And I think it's great for somebody who's ready to jump to that next level, to tell you the truth.
It's funny you mentioned the sight. I was actually just setting up a bow this morning with this sight on here. It's the Joker 4-pin, which again, wonderful sight to get started on. The thing is, I mean, it's really light as well. The 5-spot quiver, another great quiver. Again, kind of a mid-range, but again, ultra lightweight. So what you're getting here is a great ready to hunt package. Already a light bow, and now with the accessories that are on it, helps it to stay on the light side and make it easy maneuverability. When we look at the grip here, again, very nice, narrow. Some people would say that's minimalistic. I like this grip. It really feels good in the hand as well. So with that, I know you were talking about your top three. I think our top threes look about the same. This next bow is way up there in the list. So again, I'm going to flip right to the Alaskan. When I saw the price point on this one, I just about fell over. I said, wait, what is this? So again, has a lot of the features. I guess there's also some historical relevance. So again, having Chuck join the Bear Archery team, again, it was just unbelievable. And again, I remember listening to the podcast and learning about that. So bringing back the name of the Alaskan from the 1950s and 60s of the original from Bear Archery. Again, all of that same performance that you're used to in the industry, however, at this unbeatable value. So 32-inch axle to axle, the DHC 80% let off cam that we'd spoken about. This, you'll get 335 feet per second as an IBO rating. And again, the adjustable draw length, 25.5 out to 31 inches. So again, a lot of versatility in this bow. I know this was one of my favorites, but before I go into anything more, I want to hand it over to you, Mike.
Yeah, no, this was definitely in my top three. It was actually my number three. This bow was extremely light, you know, not crazy aggressive. I love the new cam system that's on it. It's I love that they used the roller guard slide. I'm glad they went back to the slide. I feel it's more consistent with my shots. That's my personal opinion. I love the fact that you can deck it out any way you want, and it has the new 80%, you know, cams that are on it, the hybrid cams, which they're just so smooth. And for the price point, you literally can't beat it. I like a bow that's lighter, especially for hunting. And, you know, the history behind this name, you know, is just incredible in itself. And I think they really did a great job in trying to apply that into this new bow. And this new bow is actually made out of cast aluminum. So that's why it's so light, because it's made out of cast aluminum. So that was news to me too when I found out. So it's a lighter bow, and you know, the vibration, there wasn't much vibration at all. In fact, when you threw a stabilizer on it, one of the Trophy Ridge Hitmen, there was none. It was gone, zero, zip, done. And that was really impressive too, to the point where it really came down to an extremely hard decision to be number 2 or number 3 out of all the bows that I shot. I like this bow so much that I convinced my sister-in-law to go buy one.
Is that right?
That's how good this bow was for me. And for those that want to be in, you know, between the mid and high level, this is in between that range. And the draw length is perfect for the shorter draw length, you know, 25.5. My wife shoots 25 and a half, depending on the bow. And my sister-in-law does too. You know, I know there's shorter draw lengths out there, but with the 32-inch ATA, it's also, you know, it gives you a little bit of forgiveness too. And the valley's really nice, to tell you the truth. But the 80%, you know, hybrid cams, man, once you pull that back and you hit it, it's a little spongy and it's perfect for those that are trying to get going. You can't go wrong with the Alaskan. You really can't. In fact, I'm still having thoughts that I might buy one just to have one, but you know.
I hear you. It's funny. I think as you and I have often spoken about those bows, oh, yeah, we had that one, we sold that one. Definitely shouldn't have sold that one. So shooting this next bow that we're going to talk about got me thinking back to my original Divergent with the 28-inch axle to axle, and got me thinking about it so much. I actually just picked one up. It was delivered Friday night, and came in. So this is only 2 days ago, and I was setting that bow up last night. And I was like, you know, I'm like, what drove me to that, and it was actually the Whitetail Legend Pro. So this bow, again, in the hands, 30-inch axle to axle. So this is a really nice short axle to axle bow. Got me thinking about that Divergent that I used to have, and this was my number 2 bow this year for sure. One of the other bits that I absolutely love about it is this throwback green finish that it comes in. Again, you can see the versatility as far as the configurations that you can get and what you want out of that. But all of the things that you've come used to based on the conversation that we've already had. So again, the Killer Wave limb dampeners, the new Grizz Grip, I'm sorry, it does not have the Grizz Grip. It's got the limb dampeners. This has the really narrow grip on it, that you can have direct contact. So again, where Mike was talking about having plates on his, this comes with those plates. But again, a fantastic way to get that short axle to axle, still getting the speed at 339 feet per second, and a lot of adjustability within the 26 to 30-inch draw length for many of the different shooters that are out there. Mike, over to you, man.
Yeah, this was my number 2, man. The shootability of it was great. The back wall was fantastic. You know, I had no problem with. I probably shot this bow 4 or 5 times, just because I had to look at it, think about it. Vibration free, you know, like there was pretty much nothing there. You can have a little vibration in every single bow, but I was impressed because I think the new dampeners are doing its job, to tell you the truth. I love the colors, you know, what you can do for the color schemes. It has the EKO cam and at a 30-inch ATA. It's like they took the Divergent and made it a little bit better, to tell you the truth, when the second generation Divergent. But I love the riser. The fact that you can, you know, get the draw length out of it that you need, and the speed, even with the sliding roller guard, it's outstanding. But I really love the look of the bow, the way the bow shoots. That is a hunting bow. That is my hunting bow. If I could have a bow to hunt with, to do hunting, just hunting, that would be it. But I got one that I need to shoot 3D for and do that. And, you know, me and you could, you know, own all these bows. We've owned tons of bows. But I just don't have time to deal with 2 bows right now.
I know.
Mainly because I picked up a Super Grizzly trad bow, and now I'm trying to figure that out. So.
Oh, geez. Yeah, there you go. That's going down a whole nother path.
Yeah.
But again, as we keep going through the list here, this was a new bow that came out. It's the Escalate. And when I first saw this bow, I was like, wow, where does this kind of fit in the lineup? After I shot it, I'm much more clear in understanding where it fits, how it fits. So you can see some of the additional vibration reduction system being built into this bow. Again, having the Grizz grips, a lot of the different feature function that you've seen and we've talked about in some of the other bows in the lineup, you'll see some of those adopted here. As you also flip through a couple different finishes than what you're used to seeing. This does have the echo cam. So again, you get that same 75, 80, 85, 90% let off. And again, just tipping the scales over 4 pounds. So again, a super light bow, a lot of flexibility. You get the, 31-inch axle to axle. So again, not quite a long, but kind of that mid-range. And with a 6.5-inch brace height, you get a lot of kind of, flexibility. And again, having that new grip will make it easy for you not to torque the bow. So again, the forgiveness overall with this package, I found in shooting it fantastic. Again, a great price point given all the value that you get and a variety of different finishes that you can take on right now.
Yeah, and I just want to backtrack real quick on the Whitetail Legend Pro, because the price for that blew me out of the water. Was like, how is this bow that cheap?
That's
like,
right.
It's everything you could want in close to $1,000 bow for less than $600. But I just wanted to backtrack on that because I was just thinking about it, man. It just brewed up in my head, and I was like, wow, because I was just thinking about buying it. So
but you were not alone. And again, case in point, I walked into Lancaster Archery Supply for their Black Friday event. And if you've ever been there, you walk in the door and the bows are, I don't know, maybe 75 yards or so from where you walk in. And as I'm looking over, I see all the advertisement for the big Bear Archery specials that we're running. And as I got closer, the guy who runs the showroom floor, his name is Scott, and I saw him and I was like, hey buddy, I was like, what is that bow right there? I was like, I have not seen that or put my hands on it yet. And he goes, oh, that's the Whitetail Legend Pro. And I was like, wow, I got to pick this thing up. And again, I'm sorry, just like you said.
Oh no, that's fine, man. I wanted to get back to that, and the reason why is because I really fell in love with this bow. I'm not even gonna lie, I did.
Absolutely.
And end up with one.
Yeah, well, maybe you don't have we don't have to go halves on one. So again, we were talking a little bit about the Escalade.
Back to the Escalade. So
Yeah.
the Escalade I thought was phenomenal, to tell you the truth. The shootability of it was great. It is deadly accurate. I was shooting out of it and it wasn't even at my draw length, and I was hitting the yellow. It is a little aggressive, a little bit, for a 31-inch ATA, but I didn't mind it at all. I love aggressive bows, you know, and if you look at like the cutout of the risers too, that is the way that they put the dampening system in there is pretty sweet. I mean, they did a great job on that too. But you know, the bow, there's a bow for everybody in Bear Archery's lineup, and this bow I really liked. A buddy of mine actually got one of these. He had one, he ordered one, and he loves it. He thinks it's one of the best bows they came out with. And so, I mean, shooting this bow was every bit as fun as shooting the other bows, man.
Yep.
And you know, with the cams and the way that they were lining up, it was tuned right too, right from the factory, which I found very interesting because you don't really find that much anymore. But it seems like every bow that I've gotten from Bear so far has been timed and tuned, which is pretty sweet, man, because that's paying attention to detail.
That's right.
But you know, the colors that they have for this too, look, my throwback black's there, you know, it's shadow. Oh, see,
there you go.
But I love it, man. I love it. It's compact. It's an incredible hunting bow. The only thing that I didn't like about it is I had a 28-inch diversion, the 28-inch, and you can call it, you know, the roller guard for the strings.
Yep.
Wasn't a fan of it. It works. It does its job, but it's more like a string protector.
Yeah.
In essence, to tell you the truth, but it didn't affect the way that it shot. In fact, my divergent with that was dead accurate, like insanely accurate. It was crazy aggressive, but it was deadly accurate. And also too, you know, at 71 pounds, I was shooting this one. All of them were at 70 that I was shooting. It still felt great. It didn't feel as aggressive as my 28-inch, you know, divergent, but this is kind of like the big brother of that bow I did.
Agreed. So the next one we're going to talk about, again, a lot of people in our circle, some people just have this passion for single cam bows. And one of the new ones that came out this year was the Species EV. And as we look at this bow, I mean, this thing is just fully loaded. Again, it is a single cam bow. You get a super smooth draw cycle, 80% let off. It's only 3.8 pounds with the 30-inch axle, 6 3/4-inch brace height. It is compact, it is smooth, and I would say it is absolutely a lethal alternative for those of us that are these lethal bow hunters. With that, you also have a 23.5 to 30.5-inch draw length. So again, for those folks that might have a real short draw length, or maybe you have a youth that's coming up and they're ready to step up into that next level bow, this might be a great one for them. Also gets them with the Joker 4-pin sight that we've seen before, the Whisker Biscuit V, the Blitz stabilizer, also the 5-spot quiver. So again, everything you need, 320 feet per second IBO out the door, and the new Bear Claw limb vibration dampeners as well to help you get even more accuracy out of these bows.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with this bow. They also updated it too. They call it the Species EV now. And my wife actually has the first generation Species, which is a 31-inch ATA, which is very forgiving as well. Like to the point where I've had 3 different, you know, top of the class Bear bows, and she wants nothing to do with them because she shoots this so well and it's so comfortable to shoot. You can't go wrong with a single cam. I liked how they knocked an inch off of it, you know, and the speed actually went up a little bit. But the draw length for it is just incredible.
Yeah,
we go to 23.5 to 30.5, and with a single cam bow, you can never go wrong. Honestly, it's like one of the smoothest bows you'll ever shoot. It still is to this day, even though they knocked an inch off of it. It's one of the smoothest bows I've shot for bear archery.
Absolutely.
You know, the next one close to that, which we won't be talking about, was the Whitetail Legend, not the Pro. You know, and with the Whisker Biscuit V in the Ready to Hunt package, this is definitely your mid-level bow. This is something that, I mean, my wife won't give up. Like, she loves it. And so for those ladies, and even for the guys out there that are looking for, you know, just something comfortable to shoot, something comfortable to hunt with, this is a great bow to go to. And for the price point, you're not finding anything better anywhere else, in my opinion, to tell you the truth.
I agree. And again, I know your wife's shooting the original species. My stepson is shooting the original species. You know, picked it up for him as a Christmas gift a couple of years ago. He'd been shooting a stick bow. Time to move him. You know, he's kind of that 12, 13 range at the time. He was ready to move into a compound. And I said, you know what, man, this is, I believe, a great bow for you to move right into. You're going to love shooting it.
I forgot to mention this. Before it was my wife's, it was my son's.
Is that right?
Well, my son was actually shooting the species original, and he was 14, 15, 16, and he was shooting it. And then he was like, all right, I want to get a crossbow, and I'll trade you this for a crossbow. So he got the Bear 405.
Nice.
And I traded him the crossbow for this and gave this one to my wife, and she's been in love with it ever since.
Man, that's a great story.
It goes through the line, man.
Yeah, man. So I know the last one we're going to touch on is the Resurgence Ld. So this is for the long draw folks that we know. There's a colleague of ours that I swear the guy looks like a bear, but this is the bow that he probably needs to shoot just because he's got a wingspan a mile long. But this gets you that 25 to 32 inch draw length. So again, a great range there, 310 feet per second, great axle to axle with 32 inch. Again, a couple different colors to choose from here. The shadow in this bow, I think, looks fantastic. Extremely forgiving. Again, we talked about the 32 inch axle to axle. It has the 80% let off single cam system with a 7-inch brace height. So this is an extremely long draw, long brace height. Everything here screams to me, you know, giving you that forgiveness that everybody's looking for. It's got all of the killer wave in limb dampening system as well. So again, ultra smooth draw cycle gives you that nice perfection for the long draw bow hunter. And again, I know Mike and I know a guy that comes to mind, you know, straight away. Again, $429 price point. Like, this is absolutely insane to be able to see this kind of a bow coming out at that level.
Yeah, and it's pretty good, you know, for, dude, I shot that thing and that draw length was, I swear, at 29.5. I'm a 27.5 inch draw length, depending on the bow. Shooting that thing was like, I felt like I was shooting like Robin Hood, man.
Nice.
But the first time I shot it, the arrow actually went into the side of the target.
Is that right?
And I was like, all right, now I gotta, you know, reflect on what happened there. I torqued the bow, was it too long? And then I had to figure out that I just needed to shoot it a certain way in order to hit the paper. And I hit the paper a couple times after that just to check it out. But it was smooth, man. But that thing, when it lets go, it's letting go. Man. And even though it says only 310 feet per second, that thing let go. It went, you know, and the vibration, it wasn't bad. There was a little bit of vibration. Smooth bow. Back wall was a little spongy, which a lot of people seem to like. You know, it's wicked easy to tune because you got the yoke system. So, you know, it's easy to get those cams to lean the way that you need them to. And this bow is definitely for those long shooters, man. 32 inch draw length, you know, it goes up to, which you know, I feel like this was a refined replacement for the species long draw.
That's right.
So this thing actually, for those long draw guys, this thing can shoot. It's a shooter for sure. It was really accurate too. I was actually impressed, you know, for even though it was at like 29.5, probably 30 inches when I shot it. It was still pretty accurate, man. You should see me. It was funny, dude. You know,
let me guess, you were anchoring somewhere behind your ear.
Yeah, like, but in my back of my head. But like, it was funny, man. But I was at Expert Archery shooting all these bows in Attleboro, Mass, and even one of the guys that was there was like, "Man, that's a little long for you, huh?" And I was like, "It sure is, but I got to shoot it." But it was a really nice bow for those, you know, long draw guys, especially. It's a mid-level bow for sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's a mid-level bow, but those long draw guys would love that thing in the tree stand if you're shooting the tree stand, or even if you're starting out,
Yeah.
just shooting 3D and stuff. That's the way. That's where you want to start.
Absolutely. Well, I know there's a couple of things that as you and I were chatting in advance, we kind of brought up this Total Archery Challenge. This is a fun shoot. I know
Absolutely.
that I'm going to be doing Seven Springs again this year. I think they opened up another one closer to you. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll be helping out Bear Archery in Vermont, actually.
Very nice.
So I'll be in Vermont this year. I went to Seven Springs last year and shot that, and the couple years before that, I went to Vermont. We're probably gonna head to Tennessee next year, but
Oh, nice.
see what happens.
And then if you haven't heard, again, just a quick shout. So it's a known distance. I know Oklahoma, they were shooting this weekend, 111 yards on the Caribou. Happened to hit the 12 ring to get a chance to enter and to shoot for this Trophy Ridge truck. So again, you can see this page out here on beararchery.com within the base camp archery blog post. But again, it's a fun shoot. There's a lot of different fun shoots that are out there at Total Archery Challenge. Great group of people. I think I read there's going to be like almost 5,000 people.
Yeah, it's a lot. And don't be fooled either with that 111-yard shot. You can practice it all day long if you want, okay? Because I shot it there with a 28-inch ATA with my Divergent, all right? And the crosswinds going up that hill were insane. Like, I shot it and I hit the hind rump, but I hit it. But the crosswinds, man, those winds, dude, were insane on that hill.
Man.
So don't be fooled that you're gonna go up there 111-yard chip shot.
That's
you better
right.
start practicing in the wind, because I swear they like know when the wind's coming, and they're like, oh, we're gonna do this. It was fun though. I had a blast. The guy down there will actually tell you how to shoot, and like, you know, shoot a little bit to the right because it's gonna move. He's pretty cool. Who ran it down there in Vermont when I
remember
shot.
we had last year they had the electric bike, and the guy was trying to see how far up he could get in the electric bike before he had to start pedaling. But again, fun time all around. You and I were kicking around. There's this Hunting 101 podcast that Dylan goes ahead and leads. This one, Tools Bow Hunters Trust. I was listening to this as I was driving up to Harrisburg, just a couple hours for me to get up to the Great American Outdoor Show. But as I was listening, Andrew, who's one of the engineers from Trophy Ridge, was the guest on this show. He went through a lot of the details, some of the new things that we're launching. This site is one. And again, if you come onto the beararchery.com site, you go to the both sites, you'll see there's two digital React sites, one being the single pin, the other one being the Trio Pro. These are not ranging sites. However, what they do enable you to do is, as you turn the dial here on the right up and down, it'll go ahead and give you this number, which is associated to the lower pin if it's the Trio Pro or the single pin. And the other thing that was just crazy, all the feature function you're going to
the biggest function of this entire site, 5 different arrows, man. 5 different arrows you can input in there. I mean, and we talked about this privately before about, you know, you and I using 2 different sites, one for 3D, for hunting. Now it's an all-in-one.
Absolutely.
Blows me away.
The other thing that I find interesting here, so absolutely, like we've hung up the 2 different sites. We'll pop them on and off depending. Again, are you going out to hunt, or are you going to go shoot some 3D? Different arrows ready to go. But again, there's a couple different ways to set this up. The one way is what you're used to within the React technology. You shoot a pin, you shoot another pin, and then you're good to go. There's also a speed setup, which if you can shoot through a chronograph, you can actually plug that number into this site, and then it'll automatically be dialed for you. Still might be a little bit of fine tuning as usual, but it'll get you really close to where you need to be. I know they say it's out to 100 yards, but I know when I was turning that, it let me go beyond 100 yards. So honestly, in the back of my head, I was like, you know, I need to go ahead and buy this site before the TAC. And that way I can just dial it to 111 and I'll be good to go. But
yeah, and I just want to mention too, like, if you want to see a more in-depth video on how to do this, you know, I'm not with these guys or anything, but I watched the video and it was fantastic on how they did it. Identical draw.
That's right.
How to sight in your digital React. Like, it was a phenomenal video. they did it in like no time and showed you how to do it. And that's where you can really see more about the site.
Yeah, you know what? We'll make sure that in the description for this video, we'll have links out to all of those pieces because, again, a lot of great people out there talking about some of the new technology that's out and things that, again, Mike and I have seen, you know, in person and said, wow, this is some real innovative technology being brought to the market by Trophy Ridge. Lastly, great group of guys here, the hunting public, kind of what, you know, Mike and I are after in the world, just kind of bringing a great show together, helping people to learn and understand and share what's going on so that you can pick up a couple of tips and tricks to go ahead and apply to it. They also hunt with Bear Archery equipment. So again, love working with these guys, chatting with these guys. Wanted to go ahead and share though. They've got shows out on Netflix. They also have shows on YouTube. We'll have a link out to this site as well in that description. But I know, Mike, you know, you and I were chit-chatting on this one. And again, I love watching these hunts.
This is what it's all about right here. And this is why this is such a great show. And there's some good guys on it too. And it's not because they shoot Bear Archery products, because even if they didn't, I'd still watch them.
Absolutely.
It's the fact that they do the same exact thing that I've been wanting to do. Yeah. And so these guys have gone out there, they go to all public land. I mean, these guys went in and bought it, like it was like a $250 bear bow out of Walmart, just to show you that you can go and buy some cheap bow out of Walmart and kill a deer.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about. You don't.
I ended up buying the ghillie suit jacket because the one guy loves to do his stalk hunts.
Yeah, man, that guy's a trip. He's a trip. There was one where he was like barefoot, man, in the middle of winter, going down like a mountainside. Like, dude, crazy. I love it. They're funny, man. They kill me.
Awesome. Well, I think, you know, we covered a lot, Mike. I think this has been great. I'll just leave it here. You know, if you're wondering where can you go check out some of this stuff, if you go to this page, this is your dealer locator. You can find out where your local bear dealer is. Go get your hands on some of this equipment, check it out, have conversations with other experts to learn more and figure out what's right for you right now.
Sounds good, man. Todd, I appreciate you having me on. This has been fun.
Anytime.
I hope a lot of people get some good information out of this, and you know, they can choose from there. But just realize, folks out there, just because we're telling you about these bows, it's giving you information, but you need to go and shoot each and every one of them to find out which one fits you best.
Absolutely.
It don't matter the price point. It matters what fits you best and what shoots best for you as a person.
Confidence, consistency.
Right.
You know, you don't need to have that big dollar coach, but find a mentor if you're just getting in. There's plenty of people in the community that would love nothing more.
Pro shop. A good pro shop will do that for you, man.
Absolutely.
Find a good pro shop that'll take the time to show you what you need to do and how to do it. And they'll do, and you know, you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
You'll be good to go.
Awesome, Mike. Thanks again, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, man. Have a great night.
We'll see you.